Hello everyone, I'm back again and I'm doing another video, and this video is to tell you guys about some school stuff that's been going on. And if I forget to be doing video one day, if I forget to upload, or if I forget to add the little link boxes on the outro when I do remember to upload, it's obviously because I'm focused on my schoolwork. Because last night I came home, I got home at 3:30, and I worked straight until 8 o'clock on some math stuff. I am in Algebra 2, so Anyways, so I figured I'd share with you guys some school stuff. First day of school was absolutely awful. I mean, it was absolutely awful. Of course, I just started high school this year. Okay, I'm in 9th grade, and I didn't know my way around the school very well, and I kind of had to ask my friend to get how to get around and stuff. He's also a freshman. But the way he knew was one of the things that caused my day to deteriorate. Okay, first part of the day that sucked. I woke up before. Normally I had been waking up at 10 o'clock, and I woke up at 6. So it's 4 hours earlier. So that was upsetting. Or 6:45 actually, so about 3 hours 15 minutes. Anyway, and then actually. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Sorry, I'm freshman Algebra 2 math whiz cannot count. Okay, yeah, that's actually right. Anyways, okay. So first day of school, I had to wake up, and then I get there, and me and my friends are all, because we have a school. It's a high school that's combined two high schools of schools. I don't know if two high schools are in the same building, and it's in the other high school. They shut ours down and sent us to theirs while they're building the new one. And people from Pound go to we have a combined school. It's a middle school and a elementary school, and we all go. The high schoolers from Pound go there, and we ride a bus to Central, which is what the high school is called. It's Pound is the town I live in, of course, and then me and my friend Nick and my friend Chase, who you may recognize from. Me and Nick have talked about Chase, and Nick's been in my videos before. We're just kind of chilling there. We were like, I mean, it was so cold outside for some reason that day. It was cold for a week. And it's cold, and we were standing there waiting for the bus. And there's 3 buses, and we got there early for the first bus. And we still get there early every day for the first bus. But we were there early for the first, but we didn't know when we were supposed to get on or which bus did what, and we were confused. So we sat there. We eventually didn't get on to the last bus. We were like, well, if this bus doesn't take us there, screw it, whatever. Oh well, they shouldn't have it here. So we got on that bus, and then we got there right after the homeroom bell had rang. And I got there, and I realized I left my schedule at my house. So I had to walk up and down the hall trying to figure, after the homeroom bell already rang, and I had to walk up and down the hall trying to figure out where my first room was, which is Algebra 2. And I found it, and I was talking to my friend Ethan. I was like, man, I left my schedule at home. I didn't even know what locker number I was or anything. I had to ask my friend Hensel about that. And, my locker just happened to open on the first part. And then I got there, and I was like, so what's the next class? And he's like, oh, it's English, room 305. I was like, okay, sweet, I gotta go get my stuff. So I went back to my locker, and I got there, and it wouldn't open. Alright, no, I think this is the time I didn't know which locker it was. I was like, screw this, man. Well, the next class, I'll just take this stuff. I can take the paper out of this binder if I have to and put it in a different binder. And I got there, and, we just kind of chilled there, and I went back. I was like, Hensel, bro, which one of these is mine? because Hensel's locker's right next to mine because we're alphabetically next to each other. He's like, "Oh, this one's yours." I was like, "Ugh, do you know where I can go to get my combination?" He's like, he reached over and he just opened, of course, because Hensel's magic. And I was like, "Okay, I love you, man." And I got my stuff for my next class. Okay, and then I went to the next class, and which actually it was Spanish, and we started doing work. We covered 8 chapters of review in the first day, and that kind of sucked a little bit. And then had to find my next, and then we went to lunch, and lunch was okay the first day. You know, there wasn't anything wrong with lunch. Sorry about that. I really don't care. I'm rude. I'd do that if we were in public. If you were there and I was talking to you in public, face to face, I'd just burp and keep talking. Anyways, nothing wrong with lunch. And then we went back to Spanish for another while, and then I had history, and we just kind of chilled in history for that day, I think. And you know, it was all a rush because I couldn't figure out where any of the rooms were, and it took me forever to find the rooms. I got a little bit dyslexic trying to figure out which way to go to find the rooms. And then I couldn't get my stuff out of my locker because I didn't know my combination to get in. So then I went to get on the bus to go back to the little school for my mom to pick me up there. Okay. And then once I got on the bus, we got on the bus, and the bus was full of people. There were literally people standing in the bus aisle. And I'm slightly claustrophobic, and I was like, "Oh dear Lord, I'm gonna die." And it was awful. And then they were like, "Okay, you guys get on this bus." So we all went and got on that bus that were standing up. Luckily, a lot of my friends were standing up with me. And we got on that bus, and it took us home. I was like, "Mom, come pick me up." She was like, "I ain't gonna pick you up. I ain't supposed to pick you up." She's like, "You're supposed to ride the bus home." I was like, "No, I ride the bus to the school, and then you go to the school and pick me up there." She was like, "I just came from there. I picked up your little sister." And I was like, "Well, you couldn't have come back here and pick me up too." And then I was like, "You know, all my stuff's still in my locker." So then we had to go back to the house, get my schedule, go back to the high school, and then we had to go. Then I had to go in and get into my locker, get my stuff, and then we had to go back home. And it was just like the worst first day ever. I guess at least I didn't get beat up or anything, but you know, whatever. And if you're wondering what Spanish I'm in Spanish 2. Spanish 2, Algebra 2, freshman. Yeah, I'm legit, son. Anyways, let's see what else has happened. I've had so much homework. Like, I have Spanish homework every night since I had homework on the very first day of school. As a matter of fact, something I left off that just deteriorated the day in value. We had homework in Spanish. And, you know, I've had homework since then. And my teachers seem pretty cool. The English teacher's a little bit weird. I don't know, she's pretty cool, but it's just strange. A little bit, sort of. And then the math teacher, she seems pretty cool. And the Spanish teacher, she's pretty cool, but we do a lot of work in her class. And the history teacher is really cool too. So you know, everything's went pretty good since then, other than the fact, of course, that I'm going to school. I've got my classes in my locker and my combination stuff memorized. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. When I went back to get my locker, actually, after my second class, it wouldn't pull open anymore, so I got locked out. That was actually the reason I couldn't get my stuff anymore. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. And then since then, everything's been slightly better, I guess. So if you've enjoyed this story and would enjoy more real life stories, be sure to leave a like and a comment. One or the other, I don't really care. Obviously, I'm not making any money for this. I just leave a like. I say to leave a like for the purpose of knowing which content is better. And of course, with my 9 subscribers, you know, it doesn't really matter too much. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. And that outro Cue outro music.